Guys, welcome back to the Independent Investor Channel. My name is Ryan. I'd like to welcome all the loyal subscribers to the message. I'm going to be providing some transparency to my starter portfolio within M1 Finance that tracks the 11 sectors, okay? I've custom allocated this portfolio and I'm going to be dropping you into the M1 Finance platform and walking you through my actual portfolio, a portfolio that I've actually built within M1 Finance, and I'm going to be sharing that allocation with the group, not only in the Facebook group, but also here through YouTube in the community discussion, as well as in the description below. Guys, keep in mind, please, if you are interested in M1 Finance, please check the affiliate link within the description below and as well in the community discussion. The Independent Investor Channel is affiliated with M1 Finance. It's a product that I back. It's a product that I use specifically. But if you're interested in checking out more on the M1 Finance platform, please understand that I could receive a small compensation for the referral to the cutting edge products that M1 Finance has to offer. So without further ado, I will drop you into the M1 Finance for my starter portfolio sector spider ETF review. Guys, please enjoy. All right, so we've jumped in here to M1 Finance. This is a portfolio that I built to reflect the 11 sectors in the S&P 500, and you can see how I've broken down this exposure here. This is my actual portfolio, so a little bit different than the M1 Pie share that I've been doing over YouTube and through the Facebook group. This is my actual portfolio. Now, I set this up with a few strategic goals in mind, one of which was to provide some transparency and really define the landscape for people who don't think that it's possible to accumulate any wealth over time. And what I feel all the time is that people provide or create barriers in investing, and it prohibits them from investing at all. And my goal with this is to get to the first $10,000 mark and prove to people that it can be done, number one. Number two is that it's probably the hardest step that you'll ever take. And if you're watching this video for the first time, you can see here that this portfolio was started back in March of this year. It's done quite well. I have set this up and left it, which I feel is probably the best way to utilize M1 Finance. I don't think there's a secondary use to this other than buying partial shares of single stock if that's what you want to do. Obviously, you can see that this portfolio is set up to be passive in nature, and you can see how I've custom allocated these dollar amounts to the target set here to the right. So you can see that for reference. Starting with information, healthcare, financials, industrials, down the line. Now, I've ranked these in precedence order on how I want to invest in the S&P 500 sectors. There's no right or wrong answer to this. And the exciting part about M1 Finance now is it lets you invest the way that you want to invest. If you want to put a more heavy weighting in your portfolio, in excess of 8%, you can do that. You can move that to the top of the list here and allocate your pie how you see fit and really further define how you want to invest in the stock market in accordance with what type of investor that you want to be. If you want to invest more heavily into real estate, which I have 8%, you can do that. But you can kind of see how these have performed. I don't know if I've guessed well enough or it's because that my percentage is more heavily weighted toward technology, but this reflects how I want to be as an investor, okay? So as you can see here, a little over $1,700 in the portfolio. I don't typically look at this money amount as being the end-all be-all. What I do focus on is if this portfolio has a $10,000 goal, then I'm 17% toward my goal of proving how it is that regular investors, regular people with regular jobs looking to seek passive exposure to the stock market can reach those goals. And I'm really trying to prove a point through this portfolio. Guys, this takes no maintenance whatsoever. I've set this account up. I've set it up with a defined goal, 11 sectors using custom allocation percentage aimed at satisfying a passive approach and an aggressive risk profile. The reason this is an aggressive risk profile is because these are 100% equities dominated. There are no bonds in this portfolio. So any standard portfolio allocation metrics is not going to deem this anything other than a rather aggressive profile. However, I would contend that it is in fact very diversified and giving a very, very wide-ranging access to the S&P 500 sectors. It's just that I've been able to come in here and customize this particular portfolio. So this is the actual portfolio with the holdings, and then I'm also going to go ahead and share, of course, what you guys are used to in the M1 Finance pie sharing is the statistical breakdown. This is what M1 allows you to share with would-be candidates who may want to look at my portfolio for interest's sake, or maybe even to use it as a benchmark to understand, or to get some visibility on some of the great Vanguard products that are out there, or you may just want to save it and use it as a watch list. Really all good options. But you can see here 10 basis points of expense, just a little over 2% yield, with of course the 11 sectors represented. I would encourage each and every one of you to go into these sectors on the Vanguard's website. I will leave the link in the description below, and just see what's in this ETF. It really is interesting to see what they hold in the top 10 holdings. You're going to recognize a lot of the names, and you're going to recognize a lot of these as you go down. So I'm going to share this pie, of course, in the Facebook group as usual. I will share this in the description below, as well as in the community comments page. But hope you guys appreciate this snapshot look at my M1 portfolio sector spider ETF portfolio. This is what we've got. This is real money here in this portfolio, and hope you enjoy the transparency. As usual, I will leave the links to M1 Finance if you're interested more in the platform. Please don't hesitate to kick over and take a look at what M1 Finance has to offer. Please understand that the Independent Investor channel is in fact affiliated with M1 Finance, and I could receive a small compensation if you do end up opting for their services. So thank you so much, and I'll kick you back to YouTube. All right, so now we've come back out of M1 Finance. Welcome back to YouTube, to all the loyal subscribers that have stuck around and really enjoyed how it is that I'm trying to demonstrate how to go from $0 to your first $10,000. I contend that it is the it's the most difficult milestone you guys will ever reach, and beginning investors, typically get that churn going on and they get started in the market only to get up to a couple $1,000 and then are tempted away from their investment program. And I want to prove to you guys this portfolio was started in March 5th of this year, 2019. So you can see how it's performed. It's performed well so far this year. It's provided some dividend income, but you're not going to get those validations if you're looking at a starter portfolio from day to day and saying, wow, it's really not worth a few dollars of appreciation. You got to stick to your plan, and this is providing that transparency. Sometimes the visual learners out there, this is all they need to see is a portfolio that's been in play now for a couple months, and they can look at this and say, wow, I can do this. This doesn't require any maintenance. It doesn't require any special education. It just takes a willingness to seek out some awareness of the stock market and to utilize a few of the cutting edge products that are available and a few of the cutting edge accounts that are available right now on the marketplace. And if you guys, again, are not using M1 Finance, you are in fact behind the curve. Thank you so much for tuning in into the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments at the bottom of the comment section and share the video out there with our young folks who need to be introduced to cutting edge products and the products that are out there available for investors now, guys. The landscape is changing radically fast. And if you are not on the front of the wave, you are in fact behind it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the video, and good luck in your investment future.